NFL, and the focus is on Cortland Sutton. It was a nice line for him a week ago, reaching the century mark and scoring a touchdown. It's the Broncos and the Chargers on Monday night.
Seems like we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. They're led out by a former number 2 overall pick in the draft from BYU, Zach Wilson. And that is the kind of tackling they want to see all game, as he'll lose yardage to start things out. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down. Here's Wilson. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Mitchell.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss. And they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go the wrong way.
Sanchez, a nice tackle on that play. 3rd and 2, now Wilson. Oh, they would have gotten the conversion if he could hold on. Instead, the drop means it'll be 4th down.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
Hines now on the return. A 45-yard punt for there on the return. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. Herbert and the Chargers now with a 1st and 10 at their own 23. On play action, they'll throw. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And the Broncos are going to of the football. Unfortunately. Last week was any indication we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, right? Because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right, it felt like a matter of time, and you got to think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for this opportunity after what they saw on tape.
To throw again on 2nd down. Wilson. And he's going to go down here. A sack. They push him back to the 34. Flying in to pick up that sack, Jordan Brooks. So that time, Charles, a quarterback helpless really in the pocket in the face of a pass rush like that. They were on him instantly. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. Boswell's kick is good. And the Broncos, the first to grace the scoreboard. It's 3-0. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach turned his defense. The firemen, go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
The Chargers get set to go here for their second drive. Their second drive here, the ballgame, Charles. Remember last time they threw the interception, but the defense held up. It bent a little but didn't break, only giving up the 3 points.
Yeah, obviously they left some points on the table there their last time out, but boy, they have to thank their defense for holding the opposition just 3 after they threw the pick. Their turn now, back out on the field, put together a good drive, and get some points of their own.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. They'll fake the handoff. Now Herbert. That's complete to Justin Jefferson. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. Last play they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. Play action. It's Herbert. Out to his left. And he gets this to Thornton. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially. So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 26-yard line. Now, quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete. The Chargers had 2-2 through the first 4 weeks of the season. And Charles, they were losers last time out. What do you think they need to do differently here?
I don't think it needs to be as drastic as burning up last week's game tape or not watching it, but the attitude has to be what's done is done. Let's move on. Put that one behind them, galvanize themselves, and go forward and get a win in this one.
And he's in for a Charger touchdown. A great effort there. His 7th rushing touchdown of the year. And the Chargers are able to answer the early 3 points and take a first-quarter lead. Extra point by Gay is up and good. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. That time, 75-yard drive, 5 plays. And a long run there in the end to top it off. Touchdown. Here's Gay to kick it away. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Denver's offense now set to go. And they come in losers of 2 straight. And remember, they've got the open date on their calendar next weekend, but you think it's vitally important, Charles, that they focus on the task at hand here? Absolutely, because these players, they know what's coming up, and the difference between taking time off following a win versus doing so on a 3-game losing streak, that's absolutely huge, because they may come back if they lose this game to a facility, and there may be new faces in there and some teammates lost. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. On the ground for Pierce last week. 7 carries, 63 yards. And only 7 carries in last week's game, but I still know how any runner can really get loose and feel like they're into the game with that few carries. You got to get that number up to around 15. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10. I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge. And he's going to have the hook up with Sutton. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down. Now former 6th-round pick, it's Elijah Mitchell. And he puts his head down and gets up to the 42 for a gain of about 6. You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way. On 2nd down and 4, Wilson. And his throw is going to be incomplete. How about that? Red man coverage and decided to test him early. And they proved up to the task and forced the incompletion. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Now it's Wilson. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. The Broncos send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. And a nice special teams job here. This is going to be down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt. And he's going to go down. He backed up into the end zone, and this is going to wind up a safety. Well, I think you can go ahead and give your punter an assist on that one. Pinned him deep, and the defense comes through with 2 points.
You're exactly right, partner. This was all set up by a great punt, and if the ball goes in the end zone, this never happens. So great call. Give the punt team and the punter some love.
Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. Well, partner, fast forward with me for a second. Remember, next week they have the open week, so they're going to get some extended rest. Does that change how they manage the rest of this one?
I think it does a little bit, but not by too much, because you're right. You get the extra rest, you get a chance to heal up and kind of, do a little bit of a reset for this team. But it's also 7 extra days to think back to the last time you were on the field. So now, a little more importance on what they're getting done because they carry it with them for essentially 2 weeks. Tough series for the passing game. Things just aren't clicking. Hope they can come through on this play and get this series back on track with a completion for enough yardage for a first down.
They'll run the screen with Mitchell. And he gets this only to the 41. Not near enough for the first. 5 yards, not enough. And it'll be 4th down. The Broncos send out their punter now as he's on to kick it away. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. And this returnable for Hines. That'll go as a 42-yard punt. They'll be aided by a loss of yardage on the return. And the Chargers will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. The Charger drive about to get going. And the last time they had the football, they surrendered 2 points on the safety. They don't want to do that one again.
No, not at all. It's almost like a bases clearing double, isn't it? Give up a couple of runs. Sure. just messes things up for you offensively. But now they've got to go ahead, take it, set it aside, and move forward.
And that is incomplete. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more game. Ultimately, they dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
An entertaining start to this one. More to come on EA Sport. Charger football to start quarter number 2 as they've got it with a 1st and 10. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
One of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
He'll buy some time right. This is caught. Touchdown, Chargers. Justin Jefferson. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And they're able to add on to their advantage. Extra point by Gay is up and good. And that makes this a 9-point game. 5 plays there on that drive. And it was all capped off by Justin Jefferson's touchdown reception. After the touchdown, it's Gay to kick this one away. And he'll elect not set to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Broncos are about set to go on offense. And they have the game here followed by the open date on their calendar next weekend. And Charles, this is a crew that you have to think really is relishing the opportunity to be on the couch for a few days.
Yeah, they certainly are, but let's face it, partner. They can't get caught looking ahead to that couch time while they're playing this one. They've got to take care of business first.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Looking to throw on second down. Wilson. And that is, I think he caught it. He did, but they'll say out of bounds. It'll be incomplete.
Holding. Offense.
And since they still have 10 yards to go, they'll just say, let's roll this over to third down and decline it.
Let's just be honest about it. If you can't get them off the field on 3rd and 10, then something's wrong with your defense anyway. No sense in taking that penalty.
On third down, Wilson. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far offensively, or even defensively for that matter. They could use a big-time spark somewhere, but it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
Fielded at about the 28. 17 yards. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. So here are the Chargers to take over. They fell last week to the Jets, but they've got the lead right now as they start this drive. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at the 45. Here's Herbert. And connecting here with DJ Shark. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Now a handoff up the middle. Hull trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Back to throw here, Herbert. Throw finding Thornton over the middle. And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Herbert off of play action. And this is caught. He's got a touchdown, LA. An 18-yard touchdown grab as his guys are able to extend their lead. Extra point by Gain is up and good. And that could be important as that makes this a 16-point lead. Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. So the Broncos coming out now. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. Let's see if they can do better here on this drive. Wilson's throw caught here by Dulcich. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
When you get a big tight end like this, sometimes it takes more than one man to bring him down. Oftentimes, your best bet, just jump on and hold on and wait for your teammates to arrive to help get him on the ground.
And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. They did a nice job there holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
He's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 4. Wilson. And this throw will be intercepted. Picked off by Tyson Campbell. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, that one was in the air for an agonizingly long time.
Just begging to be picked off, wasn't it? It's one thing if you're throwing a ball like that, trying to throw someone open or lead them into an air.
And trying to find Chark, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football. So really the first speed bump that this offense has encountered, they'd had the rule of the roost here in this first half, but now slowed up just a bit by the interception.
And there's a chance that that's a wake-up call for them because you don't want to go on autopilot too early. That team on defense is capable of making some plays similar to the one they made right there.
Give them 14 yards there and a Denver first down.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half. I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
And they're going to get this down inside the 20. Still a few inches short of a first down as they come up now on 2nd down. On 2nd down, here's Mitchell. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a first. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
Now Wilson, and that throw behind his man. He missed him, incomplete.
This defense is going to have to finish the job. There's still a 2nd half that they have to play. But so far, an absolute total effort. They've disrupted the passing game, stressed the pocket for the quarterback. They forced him into errant throws. Everything they're doing has been executed well.
And the Broncos are going to have a 1st and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line.
It doesn't matter where on the field he is. Even down here in the red zone, he is still slippery with the ball in his hands. And he was almost able to work his way into the end zone. Instead, they'll have to settle for 1st and goal, but they'll take it.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. From 3 yards out. And the Broncos get a bit closer. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Boswell good with the extra point, and that trims the lead down to 9. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. L.A. readies for its next possession. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building really well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Herbert. And that's caught inside the 35. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. They'll run on 1st down. Home. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. On 2nd and inches. Herbert. And that will be incomplete with the clock showing 18 seconds now to go.
That's a nice job there because you've got to play the ball, not the man when in coverage. That'll keep you away from a lot of needless penalties, and he's able to knock that one away.
On 3rd down. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Justin Herbert looking to pass. This will be caught at about the 5. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. From the 3, 2nd and a yard. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. He's got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Chargers. Tyquan Thornton in the final seconds of the first half. And the Chargers will extend their lead here just before halftime. Extra point by Gay is up and good. And that could be important as that makes this a 16-point lead. So time it up for a kickoff here. 5 seconds remaining in this first half. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number one. So we are at halftime here on a Monday night. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll get things started up at Ford Field in Detroit, where it was the visiting Bengals who were able to come away with the road victory. Joe Burrow leading the way in the victory with 3 touchdown passes. We'll stay in the NFC North as we head over to Green Bay to check on the Packers at home at Lambeau. And they were losers in that game as they fall to the visiting Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, 5 touchdown passes, leading his guys to the victory. Lastly, we head to the Gulf Coast and check on the Bucs at home in Tampa. And it was the visiting Atlanta Falcons who come in and get the victory. Tyler Algier, a touchdown run in the victory. Moving on, let's take a look at the next-gen stats in that first half for the Broncos. And they will need to get this passing game in gear because they did not do much of anything in that first half. And it's why the scoreline is what it is.
Well, we'll move right through the break then, skipping halftime and back to the field for the start of the second half. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. So the Chargers will start the second half with the lead and the football as we're underway in the third quarter. And no run back here as the third quarter will commence with a touchback. Out comes the Chargers as they'll go on offense now to start this third quarter. And despite the turnovers, Charles, and they had multiple in that first half, they still have the lead as they begin this third quarter.
And they probably heard some conflicting tones at the half, don't you think? A lot of praise for what they did to get this lead, but also a little bit of scolding because they got to take better care of the football in the second half. But you and I both know the great leaders, they know how to give that little bit of vinegar in there and cover it with a big dose of honey.
And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up. Going to throw on third down with Herbert. Got an open man finding Jefferson. And he is going to have the Chargers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
62 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
Well, I think after that run, the defense is getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Here's Herbert. He's got his man, Thornton. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. How about 25 yards on third down? They'll take it.
For the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on third down that they would be looking his way, and they did for big yardage and a first down. I think the defense fell asleep with the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Running the jet sweep, Thornton. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down.
Well, they gave up a few yards there, but all in all, I think it's a pretty nice job defensively against the jet sweep. If they don't slow him up, he might take it to the house, so they'll take that play every time on the defensive side of the ball.
Now the throw on third down, knocked away and incomplete. And Gay knocks this one through, and that will extend their lead even further. touchdowns in the game for this offense. This time they forced him to taking the 3.
You did mention 4 touchdowns, right? So 4 out of 5, not too bad. I think that's a pretty good record for them.
After the made field goal, Gay back out there to kick it off. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half. On the ground, it's Pierce to begin the drive. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down. Another modest gain there on that one. And I think, Charles, you can probably pin part of the deficit on a failure on their part to really get this ground game established.
Yeah, they've really struggled to be multidimensional in this one, haven't they, partner? Because they have to be extremely one-dimensional now if they hope to get back into this game. They'll have to do it by throwing the football and hope to have success through the air.
So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yes, let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on third down. The Broncos send out their punter now, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. This is fielded at the 27. It's a 40-yard punt, but they lose yardage on the return. And that will come the offense as they take over. Possession switching back now to the Chargers. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
On second down, Hull, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up third down. When this offense gathers to watch the tape, they're going to like a lot of what they saw. They put up big numbers, but they might fast forward through that last play.
Oh, there won't be any fast forwarding, partner. I've sat in those sessions before. You end up spending more time on the bad plays.
On Herbert, his 3rd interception. Picked off by Josie Jewell. And the Broncos are going to take possession of the football. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is a team that just threw that interception, they got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
2nd and 5 now. Wilson.
You know they wanted him. You know they expected. They needed him to be sharp coming out after the half. Unfortunately, he's missed his first 3 throws. I wonder if he got out late and missed his warm-up time.
The whole team did come out a little bit later than usual. I don't know, maybe there's something to that.
It must have been a heck of a halftime speech.
Yeah, maybe just trying to rally the troops back from this deficit. From the gun on third down, Wilson. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down. Boswell's kick is good, and that'll get the deficit back to 16. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx it.
This will be fielded inside the 5. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
On 2nd and 11 now. Herbert. Nowhere to go for Herbert, and he's going to go down. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
He's going to look deep down the field. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Two things you can do in that situation: run and punt the football, or try and take your shot at getting the first down. They chose the latter, but they'll have to punt all the same.
On is the punter Scott here as he gets this one away. And it's fielded at the 34. Oh, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle him.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And it'll be a short field for the Broncos as they take over 1st and 10.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
First down, here's Mitchell. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
From the 41, Wilson. He finds his man, complete. That's McLeod. And they'll work this down inside the 30. 1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. Back now at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. It's the Broncos trailing, but they do have possession of the football as we begin quarter number 4. On 1st down, Wilson. And this is going to be incomplete. He started out having some troubles back in the first half connecting with his receivers. Really hasn't gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's at less than 50%, and you and I both know that just won't do. So I would think about spreading things out, putting it on the receivers, make them win those one-on-one battles on the perimeter, and find their way open.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out high. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
Throwing again here, Wilson. Being chased, Wilson hit, it's loose, it's out, fumble, and picked up by the Chargers. Past the 20. Now he takes it back to the house. That's a fumble recovery and a Charger touchdown. The offense, they've had some sloppy moments. Sloppy there again on that one, and it could be the backbreaker.
From a defensive perspective, if the offense is going to be sloppy, you've got to take advantage of that. And that's what they've done all game long.
Extra point by Gay is up and good. And that pushes the lead up to 23. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. And Denver getting set to take the field. And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the 4th quarter. This would be their 3rd straight defeat. Chargers able to get the pressure and bring him down. It'll be a loss of 10. And it'll bring up 2nd.
Well, at least it wasn't a turnover like the last drive. You'd think they'd make an adjustment and be ready to make up for that turnover. Instead, just another big play for the defense on that snap.
The throw down the field, caught by his running back. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Here's Wilson. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. That one good for 13 and a Denver first down.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
Throwing now, Wilson on first down. Throw over the middle, taken in by Dulcich. He'll get it inside the 20. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. 39 yards there, a big one.
At this stage, there's nothing left to do but to keep firing. And if you're a play caller, you may go off your sheet and use some things maybe you hadn't planned to in this game. Maybe that was one of them there that worked.
And it's out. He put it on the carpet and picked up by the Chargers. And the return will stop them well inside their own 20 at the 15-yard line. And I don't know that that fumble is going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the fourth, it doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head.
Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about, we're going to address this come practice next week because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help him improve.
They'll rumble for about 6 up across the 20 to the 22.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And not much doing there. Maybe a yard up to the 23.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. In motion goes the tight end. They snap it to Herbert. The open man is Shark. It's complete. And he is going to have the Chargers first down. It's a gain of 12 on fourth.
First and 10 at the 30-yard line.
They run the counter. Home. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. 74 yards rushing for him now on 17 carries.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
And this time they're able to bottle him up as they'll stop him at the line of scrimmage. On the tackle, it's Randy Gregory.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 35. That, I believe, will put him over 100 yards receiving for the game. Yes, it will. And he's got a first down to boot. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So it's Charger football as we welcome you back from the 2-minute warning. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. With the late lead, Herbert's going to throw it. Looking left sideline, it's complete. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. 23 yards on the play.
Offensively, another big chunk of yardage, Charles, but defensively, they had all this talk about trying to limit explosive plays. They have not been able to do that.
They discussed it all week, but they haven't been able to execute it at all, haven't been able to find a way to slow down this offense. They're seeking answers and not coming up with any.
And that's good for a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
Simple drag route here, lined up out left and tried to work his way back across the field. You probably saw me twitch there, partner, because I think he wanted the ball a little bit sooner by the time he looked it in.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Los Angeles. A great play there with his second touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season. And the Chargers look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this fourth quarter. Well, they just continue to roll. And, Charles, for you and I, we want the close games, but for them, it has to be so nice to enjoy this big cushion.
I can't remember the last time we saw them play this loose and have this much fun. I think they'd love to be able to capture this game, carry it with them from week to week, and be able to execute like this in all the rest of their games.
And coming out now, the Broncos. And just looking ahead, it would appear that that bye week is coming at the right time. They'll have 2 weeks to chew on this one, though probably not one that they want to chew on. A poor performance from start to finish. Meanwhile, Wilson's throw taken in by Sutton. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a second and just a few inches left. They go play action with Wilson. Open man, and again it's Sutton. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
I like the thought process there. They connected on a big play, and sometimes you find the defense vulnerable. So they went for the bigger shot, went for it all on that one. This time, they were ready for it.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Here's Wilson. And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Throwing is Wilson. He'll let this go deep for Sutton. And this is caught inside the 5. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late. But he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
So the officials and the folks in New York got a second look at this one, and the call is going to be overturned. There's Wilson to throw. A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'm guaranteeing he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
Second down and goal. Wilson, nowhere to go here. He lost the football and picked up by the Chargers. And he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line.
All right, you've had to put up with me in this booth. I'm going to try and be simple and succinct. It simply has not been their night.
No, I think that fumble's Charger drive about to get going. They're going to pass here with Herbert. Dancing to his left. Nowhere to go for Herbert, and he's going to go down. And one of the whistles for a timeout. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds. To try again after the sack. Herbert, he'll rifle this one deep right side. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
I think it's fairly safe to call this game over, but they're still trying to bomb it downfield and add to their lead. Almost makes you start to feel for the defense and root for them a little bit, too.
Now, one final throw here is incomplete, and that is how this one will come to an end. Partner under the lights in prime time.
Yeah. Hold up, it ain't easy breaking away or being a great. They slamming the door, I'm jumping the gate. Cause a starving stomach like being punched in the face. And an instrumental was the last time that I ate food from all of the bass. My 8-spoon going big son told me about